Well, hey, it's Tiiu and my good friend, Dr. Michael Gross.
Here we are.
Get the words out of his mouth.
The team.
The what?
The team.
We are, um, we are super happy to be here today to do our Sunday 2 p.m. message. Michael always has such a fascinating message, but I have to just say that he's picked a doozy of a topic today. So I'm going to let Michael introduce the topic.
The topic is the circle of life. I thought you'd find it pretty interesting and a lot of fun. But first of all, I'd like to introduce a great book called Healing the Holes in Your Soul by Tiiu. Let me see if I can.
And I'm putting this one up. We both have to dodge the little ring lights here. But this is the spiritual primer, and if you notice, it's by Dr. Michael Gross. And he wrote the foreword in the book he's holding.
This is a wonderful book. It's a book about finding your soul, unconditional love and allowingness and non-judgmentalness, and finding your path to freedom. It's a beautiful story. It brings tears to you, a little sadness, but also joy. It's the perfect story for all of us to read. That is a motivational story to help us recreate our lives as Tiiu did. I recommend it highly.
Thank you, Michael. And I will say that this book is the reason I met, that man. I don't have my finger pointing right yet. But this book is the reason why I met Michael Gross, who is the catalyst for that book that he's holding in his hand. And he has totally changed my life in almost 2 years that we've been working together. So on that note, these books get a little heavy. I'm putting mine down. And you're getting a little bit fuzzy, so I'm not sure what's going on with your webcam, Michael, but we're going to keep on going. And hopefully our internet will become more stable. I don't know. But Michael Gross is an amazing man, and I want to go ahead and formally introduce him to everyone, and then he can share his message. All righty? The circle of life, right?
Yes, it is.
You are so amazing, Michael. And he's such a humorous guy, I tell you. Okay. We have a little issue with our technology, but we're going to apologize for that now in case he fades in and out, because sometimes he's really hard to hang on to. Right?
Right.
We've had some technological challenges lately, so we're just going to go ahead and do this and hope for the best, okay? Because, hey, it is alive, and we're not going to just say, that's it, we're done. Right?
You got it.
Okay, on that note, Dr. Michael Gross is an author, professional keynote speaker, transformational coach, and an entrepreneur. For more than 3 decades, he has been on a spiritual path as an intuitive, a healer, a spiritual counselor, and a teacher. Through the guidance of spirit, Michael has also assisted others in their personal quest for self-empowerment. Helping them to create the lives they have long sought and bring forth their intuitive abilities, which is really an exciting experience. I just have to say, Michael, I have had no idea where this journey would take us, and I am blown away by some of the things that have happened. I wouldn't change it for the world. I love this journey that we're on.
Thank you.
So, a little personal side note there, but I just had to say that. Michael currently teaches classes in spirituality, self-empowerment, Reiki, and other modalities. In concert with God, the true source, he has also achieved great success and miraculous healings. He remains humble, knowing the work that he does all comes from God, the true source. Michael lives in Lakewood, Washington, and has just launched his nonprofit. And I would love it if you would go ahead and introduce your nonprofit to the viewers today.
Thank you. It's called the International Institute of Self-Empowerment. It's all about empowering everyone. And being a 501c, little plug there if you're looking for, give a little Christmas gift in someone's name or you're looking for a tax deduction. Essentially, we're going to first of all start on helping abused women, children, and men. And the director of that wonderful program is Tiiu, who has a great experience in it and has survived the wars, so to speak, and come out whole. And just to tell you, it's really awesome. And what it's going to involve is really working with women, children, and men. Abuse means finding a safe haven, a place for them to live, a hotel or an apartment, getting retrained to go back into society. More importantly, before they do it, learning about self-worth, self-love, and self-esteem, and also helping them with their children and perhaps providing airfare for them to go home or whatever it is to be in a safe haven. But one of the things we need to understand is what is the role model of the children learning from abuse? And that has to be addressed and worked on. So it's a wonderful program. We're putting it together. We're doing the fundraising and we'll keep you posted. But it's going to make major changes in our society. Enough said about that. We'll fill you in with more information. Thank you for bringing that up to you. Tiiu, can you hear me? You're getting a little, your internet.
Oh, I muted myself.
Okay.
I had some background noise. I didn't want it to record. Sorry. I said
No
it's my
problem.
pleasure. I'm thrilled to be part of that. I really am. And on that note, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you, Michael, so that you can share about the circle of life. Okay.
All right. So the circle of life represents birthing in and birthing out. That's the acronym. You birth in, and when it's time to leave, you birth out. I like that better than the word death or whatever, expiring or transition. But in truth, when we talk about the circle of life, as we are in a fetus and we go through the birth canal, we're excited. Yes, there are some questions and fears and doubts, but it's a whole new beginning. And it's exciting and what lies ahead. And every experience is a new experience to the baby, although the soul knows a lot of these experiences. But that circle of life is saying that everything that is going on in our life, we are part of and we are creating. And you probably never thought about that. But as I say, you're creating your life 24/7. How are you doing that, Michael? I'm glad you asked that question. And the answer is by what you believe and what your thoughts are. You are creating your life. And each moment of your life is exciting if you want it to be exciting, or it could be drudgery, or it could be frightening. But the most important thing is it's exciting because it's a new experience. And as I said before, the baby is talking to their guides and their angels, feeling safe and secure, and feeling the love of the mother and father, and sometimes feeling the anxiety of them. When I talk about anxiety, sometimes as adults, husband and wife have arguments, but also anxiety of protecting the baby and making sure it's healthy and loving that child. And then sometime around the year 3, it's called the veil of forgetfulness descends upon the child. Then everything is blank and it's like a new canvas and they are drawing and painting their life. And every experience they have empowers them. And this circle of life helps them to create every experience they came in to learn. Karma, remember, karma is just an experience. It's a double-edged sword to some because some say it's positive and negative, but it's really empowering. If you look at something simple like karma being don't touch a hot pot and you burned your finger, not in a bad way, you burned it and your mom or dad kissed your boo-boo and they put some salve on it or whatever. It's something you learned. Then if you do it again, you're on your own because you learned it. And in this circle of life, you develop friends, you develop develop likes and dislikes. And that whatever your belief system is at 10, change it at 20, change it at 30, change it at 40, change it at 50, so on and so forth. So realizing that in the circle of life, whatever your belief systems are at 10 or 20 or whatever it is, it's always changing. And that's exciting because it means you're growing. It means you're learning. And it doesn't mean that you're opinionated. It means you're not stuck every time you make a change in your life. You know, I talk about the elephant when it's a baby and they tie a rope around a stake and they put the stake in the ground and the elephant can't pull it out. Now it weighs several tons, put a rope on it and a lightweight stake, and it doesn't move because it feels it is tethered to the stake. It's tethered up here, but not in here. And that represents part of our circle of life of how we feel about things. We become blocked by our own fears and doubts and inadequacies. Or are they really fears or doubts or inadequacies? Remember, you accepted them or you created them. And for what purpose? What is the purpose of it? Why do we block ourselves? And then why, when we're of old age, do we regret the many things we should have done? And in this circle of life, it is now my message to you is live life to enjoy it. Experience life. How do you experience? Relationships, different cars, maybe houses, food, but getting out in nature and feeling the energy, the flowers, the mountains, the water, the fish. That's part of the circle of life. And in the circle of life, it becomes repetitious unless you let go. And that's another point I want to address. You know, I talk about the fight or flight or freeze syndrome, and it's self-explanatory. But sometimes we get ourselves in a circle. And when I talk about a circle, you keep repeating things over and over and over again. Finally, you get disgusted and go, okay, I can't do this anymore. And then you break away from the circle. Only part way, though, because then the fears and doubts and inadequacies come up. You go back to the old behavior, and you're stuck in the circle, blocking you from enjoying your life, blocking you from the wonders of life, blocking you from feeling adequate. Some only feel success is money. And those that I've observed money, they never have enough money. They go, if I only had $1 million, well, they got $1 million. Well, if I only had 2 million now, if I only had 3 million now, and that's part of the circle of life. You're always stuck in your fears. How much is enough? I don't know. Everybody has their own decision. But the most important thing is, do you have love of life and have you enjoyed life? Because you see in the very end, when you have a life review, you take a look and say, did I did all that? Did I stop myself from enjoying life, enjoying my children, my wife, or my husband, or my parents, or whatever? Or was I so driven to do something like some type of success in life or make money? Have I forgot the pleasures of life? This circle of life talks about everything you start with when you first birth out of your body goes in a huge circle and it repeats itself towards the very end. Never thought about that, did you? In the beginning, everything is wondrous and you want to experience everything. And in the end, you wonder, did I experience everything? Did I express myself? More important, did I feel love? Did I express love? And is that the energy I am exuding towards others? What is my epitaph in the very end of the circle of life? You might known as a Scrooge, a mean person, a grouch, self-centered, conceited, greedy, or will they remember you as a loving, caring person who tried their best? In life, so many people are judging us, and they're judging us by their own values. Well, who says their values are correct? And yet we get stuck in that circle of their belief. Notice I said their belief. And we accept their belief. But is that really our true essence? Good question. And why are we susceptible in our life to others' opinions and put downs? What is it in us that we've forgotten who we are, what we are, and why we're here? And that the only limitations we have on our life are those self imposed. Something to think about. You know, a friend of mine did a study in nursing homes, and the greatest regret was they didn't live life. They narrowed their circle of life to a tight little circle instead of the circumference of this earth. It's a big difference, by the way, because you see, the treasures of life are your experiences, and the treasures of life is how you helped other people, and your treasures of life is how you feel about yourself accomplishing certain goals in life. It's so funny because when I talk to people and they accomplish goals, most of them are money, and they get to that point and they go, is that all there is? That's it? And what have I done this for? And have I enjoyed my relationships? Lots of food to think about. So your circle of life on a personal journey is empowering yourself, not making others happy, not trying to hurt other people, but finding out, that's why you're here, who you truly are. What is your essence? What is your core? Not what your parents designed you to be, or work, or your relationships, but it's all about who you are. What did you accomplish in life? And what is your epitaph to your family, your children, or whomever they may be? So this circle of life is birth and death, birthing in and birthing out. But also it's all the experiences you're going through. And each experience, if you look at it, no matter how arduous it is, it's exciting because you learn something. You learn what worked and what didn't work. You experience something. It's just like eating in different restaurants. You have that experience of tasting different food. Or perhaps owning different cars, or being in different businesses. Or perhaps when you're single dating. All those things are part of the circle of life. And in the very end, can you say to yourself, I experience life till its fullest, that I travel, that I help people, that I open the doors to assist others? Or was I so self-centered or scared or afraid, I became a hermit and missed out on life? John Barrett Browning, John Browning, but John Barrett Browning, Elizabeth Barrett Browning wrote the poem, How Do I Love Thee? Let Me Count Thy Ways. And John Barrett Browning, if I have his middle name right, he said, I was waiting something wonderful all my life. I didn't get married. Something exciting was going to happen. And towards the end of his days, he realized the most exciting thing in his life was the woman he loved that he rejected because he thought there was something better. How many times have we rejected something because we thought there was something better? I talk to people who have a wonderful job. They take another job. And they go, well, this company's tougher, but it's more challenging. And I go, okay, what about the company's more challenging? Well, they have a hiring rate that's high and a firing rate that's high. So what makes you think that's the way you want to be? What makes you think that you are going to do something so phenomenal that they're going to give you a crown and reward you and say you're wonderful? Yeah, you'll get a raise, you'll get all those things. And then later when you're gone, they're going to go, who? Who's that person? Think about that. So in the old days, you work 40, 40, 40, 40 hours a week, right? For 40 years and retired at 40% of your salary. And of course, you got a gold watch. Well, of course, that doesn't happen anymore. And why it doesn't happen is because everybody's on a social climbing hill to become more recognizable, more well known, and obtain more and more money, and forgot the values of life. The circle of life is your family, is your friends, is your children, is your husband, is your wife, is your relatives. Not all of them that are perfect. But I remember when I got married, my mother said, you know, Michael, your parents are the most important people in the world. And now that you're getting married, your wife comes first. Well, wow, what a woman. How loving and caring. What great knowledge she shared with me. And that is so important for us to realize that. The wisdom that we made fun of our parents when we were younger all of a sudden hits us between the eyes and say, you know, they weren't really that bad. They weren't so crazy. But as we look at this circle of life, which our parents loved and cared for us, made sure we did the homework and that we were responsible. We look at life today and it's really changed. Don't bother me. Go on your iPad, go on your computer, etc. Oh, my child never does anything wrong. She's or he's an angel. Right. And what have we created? We've created a circle instead of this big, and forgot that they need to take responsibility. You take responsibility. I take responsibility. And it's really important. Do you want to say something?
I do. One of the things you were talking about, how your mother, one of the things your mother taught you, and I remember my mother always saying, what goes around comes around. Treat people the right way because it's going to come back around to you. So, and the other one that she always told me was don't burn the bridges behind you. Because you never know, I mean, a lot of people, and at that time it was like you said, the 40, 40, 40, where you find a job, you stay there for 30, 40 years, and then you retire. And, that's not the way it is anymore. People are changing jobs all the time. And so it's like we come from a different generation and we're looking at things now going, what happened to what our parents taught us when they actually took quality time? Okay. I grew up playing on the streets and drinking water out of the garden hose and riding the back of the pickup truck with no seatbelts. Just hold on, guys, let's go. And don't come home until until it gets dark at dinner time. Or, there were all these things that now they didn't have, I remember when we got the first TV set, and that was black and white. And it was a really cool thing. Wow, look at this. And now everything has changed so much that I believe the circle of life, the quality of the life has been compromised by technology. That's just, my input that our parents and our grandparents had a lot of value that they taught us as kids. And somewhere, because of technology, that message is getting lost. And like you said, I see the shrinking circle of life happening. And it's scary. And I just wanted to say that because who's going to look after us, Michael, when we're 150?
We are. We won't need them. We'll be able to take care of ourselves. But it's a very good point that you bring up about, taking responsibility. And I talk to parents today and they make play dates and they do all these things. We just went out and learned how to make friends. And my father moved to a lot of different cities because he was managing furniture stores and he kept getting transferred. And I went out there and had to meet new people. I could have stayed in the house and my father and mother would have kicked me out after a while. But I learned how to socialize. I learned how to have friends. And I made from friends to friends to friends to friends. And it's most important because people are basically warm and loving if we give them a chance. Problem is, in that circle of life, they're so busy, they don't have time for anything else. And so I observe them. All right, they got to go out to dinner, do a lot of drinking because they got to feel good and they got to have fun. And the only fun they have is drinking and partying and doing whatever the drugs or whatever we're doing. Wow, what a great life. And the only reason they're doing it is because they don't know how to have fun. They don't know how to have joy. They don't know how to have happiness. So they drink to make them feel stunned and numbed down and numb and do the drugs. And one of the things my parents used to go on picnics. We go driving, went on a picnic. We'd all go to the beach together. We did things as a family with other families. Doesn't happen anymore. In this circle of life that I talk to, there's a big change coming on this planet. And we're all part of it. You and I and our children and family and relatives, grandparents, we're all part of it. We're going to have to make a decision on this. And on this circle of life, does the family become important to us? Or does materiality and our friends become more important? Something for all of us to think about because it's coming to a head. People are being bullied and judged, living in fear and anxiety. Children are now committing suicide more than ever. So, all I'm saying to all of you right now, because we're winding down, is to be vigilant, be aware, place your children first. And in a circle in life, what are you teaching them? Because you see, everything you do, you are teaching your children. Your behavior, your thoughts, your anger, your frustration, your love, your happiness, your joy. And if you walk around, not my fault, not my fault, not my fault. Yep, this happens, not my fault. Yes, it is your fault. Because either you created it or you placed yourself in a position to be in that area where fault is founded. You go into a store today, they don't even know how to make change without the electronic register. And they'll sit around talking to each other till you ask them to help you. All the morals and our values are changing. But it's up to us in that circle of life to bring back that circle of moral values, moral responsibility. And I counsel a lot of people and I counsel them and they have children. And I said, you're not successful until your child says, I hate you and I wish you were dead. That's success. Because you see, in the circle of life, you're a role model and you cannot acquiesce to what they want. So many adults want to be best friends with their children. Never works. You're the best friend, which they'll walk all over you, or you're the parent, you're the father and mother, and you're the authoritarian voice in the family, and you make them responsible. In the closing thought, I want to share with all of you that we are coming to a great change on our planet. It's going to be huge. And our whole methodology of doing things are changing. But in the circle of life, going back to values, those values never change. Just like the Ten Commandments, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit false witness, etc. Those never change. And you need to remember that you are the guiding light, the role model of your family and friends. And your behavior is your epitaph, how your family and friends, now your children, are going to behave. So I thank you, everyone. I appreciate all of you being here. We're winding down in time. I know we're, at 29 minutes? And so, Tiiu, I'd like you to share about two other wonderful items that I think is so important. I don't think I know is so important in our life. And that is every Tuesday night, 6:30 to 7 p.m. I have what is called a call-in. And this call-in is where you ask questions and I deliver a 10-minute message. It's so important for you to realize that there is more to a life than TV, drinking, smoking, and partying. Tiiu, let's give them the number. Tuesday night, 6:30 to 7:30 Pacific time. Just call in this telephone number, and the number is
202 926 1059. And the access code is
125446 pound.
He does that so well.
Oh.
One more time. It's 202 926 1059. And the access code
125446 pound. And I want to share another, and that is there are over 200 10-minute messages. So when you're stuck in the car, or you're mad at someone, or you want something motivational to heal and relax you, listen to them. And it goes from number 3 to 205, I believe. And that telephone number I call the replays is
ready. It's 434 300 4170. And the access code is
125446 pound.
I'll give it one more time. I just wanted to add in, though, that all Michael's contact information and all the numbers that we're giving you now will also be in the comments.
All
so
right.
One more time. In the comments. Okay, one more time. It's 434 300 4170. And the access code is
125446 pound.
Oh, now, I have one more quote.
Okay, go ahead.
I was just looking at this one earlier, and I thought this is so appropriate for what you're talking about right now. And this is a quote by Buddha. And Buddha writes, "In the end, only three things matter most: how much you loved, how gently you lived, and how gracefully you let go of the things not meant for you. Don't live with any regrets."
Thank you for sharing that. And the second Saturday of every month, we have a mass consciousness healing. And it starts Pacific time, 9:55 a.m., and goes to 11:01 a.m. And after the first 5 minutes...
oh, yeah. Sorry.
That's okay. 11:01 a.m. And after the first 5 minutes is done in silence. So if you join us a little late, just know we're here. You don't have to hang up. And then, of course, I have some thoughts I share with you in the very end, couple of minutes of thoughts, maybe even less. It's so important. It's important because the element of love, we've forgotten about it. Yeah, we have, love of our children, which is so important. But we've forgotten the love of man, of human beings. And that's something that needs to be returned here. My feelings is you don't need the 10 Commandments. You don't need anything. All you need is, one, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Or right action and correct exchange. It's synonymous. That's all we need, and we've forgotten that. So that telephone number is the same as my call-in number on Tuesday nights. And the number is?
The number is 202 926 1059. Access code
125446 pound.
One more time.
I've been very... All right. Go ahead.
I have something else to add. And I don't want to forget it. Okay. 202 926 1059.
And the access code is 125446 pound. You wanted to make a comment, and Please do.
I do. In your little explanation that love is like love is the glue that holds us together, right? And wasn't it John Lennon who sang, or the Beatles who sang, "All you need is love"? Right.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to sing any more than that, but yeah, save your ears. But it's true. You know, you can have everything in the world, financially, fancy houses, cars, and stuff, but none of that comes with you when you go. All that goes with you is what you carry in your heart and what you've shared in your life with other people. And I'm a firm believer that love transcends all limits. It goes everywhere. And we just have to remember that, because that's not something you can put in the bank, but it's something that will live in infamy. It will be around forever. But we have to plant seeds of love, because sometimes people forget that.
Thank you for your words of wisdom. And she's 100% correct. There's two things money cannot buy: love and perfect health. And these two are so intertwined, because if you're loving, you will have perfect health. If you're not loving and angry, your body will respond in kind. So I want to thank everybody for everything that is going on in our life, for being so gracious to listen to our message. I know I've been a little bit serious tonight, a little bit somber, but I have to tell you, it's time to awaken from that deep slumber to change ourselves and our lives. And on that thought, everyone, have a great week. Like Tony
Yeah,
the
Mr.
Tiger.
Somber Pants. Let's do this one more time.
One more time. Yes.
Excellent book.
Whoops.
Oh, yeah, that one's up.
I don't want anybody standing on their head to read it. So this is Healing the
This
Holes.
one is excellent.
It's a great book.
This one is excellent.
And think about give the gift that will keep on giving with these books. So I want to thank all of you. And on behalf of myself and to you, would you like to say something?
I'm good, Michael.
All right. On behalf of both of us, thank you so much. We got something exciting we're going to share next week. May your day be long and full of joy and happiness, perfect health, prosperity, abundance, and most of all, love. Namaste.
Namaste.
Good night, everyone.
Michael. You are.
Thank you. My mantra. You are unlimited. Thank you for reminding me. You are unlimited. Remember, you are unlimited. Thank you, everyone. Good night, good afternoon. Have a great day. Be well and be safe.